Okay, so in the last class, we discussed all these important properties about different geometrical shapes. And in particular, these are all the quadrilaterals. Going back, quadrilaterals, these were the six figures when we say quadrilaterals, and these are their associated properties, which we have already discussed in the last lecture. So in this class, we'll be solving some questions based on all those properties. So in this first set of questions, it says we have been given with the rectangles. And for these given rectangles, we have to find the value of these unknown angles. Okay. Now, keeping all these properties in mind about rectangles, we will start solving it. Now, we know that in case of rectangles, we always have isosceles triangles formed when the diagonals intersect. So, when diagonals intersect, this is the isosceles triangle form. And when I say isosceles, that means this side and this side is equal. And as discussed about isosceles triangle, it's always the angle opposite to the equal sides which are equal. So single dash opposite angles are equal. So this will also be an X for us. So with the property of isosceles triangle inside the rectangle, we'll make the equation as X plus 118 is equal to 180. That's 2X is equals to 180 minus 118, and 2X is equals to 180 minus 118, that's a 62. So this gives us X as 31 degrees. After finding X, we can work it out for Y also. And here again, we know that diagonal is a straight side. This whole diagonal, AC, it's a straight side. And for straight lines, we can always find the supplementary angles, because on the straight line, the angle sums up to 180 degree. So we can find this angle. And this would be eventually 180 minus 118, which is a 62. So we got this angle as 62. And this triangle is again an isosceles. Why? Because when the diagonals intersect, they make up isosceles triangles inside them. So this is an isosceles. We know that this and this side would be equal. So if this and this side these are equal sides, this will also be a Y for us. And then we can now make the equation as y plus 62 is equal to 180. 2y plus 62 is equal to 180. 2y is equal to 180 minus 62.
118.
That's 118. And y is equal to 118 upon 2, which is what?
59.
59 degrees. So this was all about part B. Moving on for part D. So what we can do here is the diagonals. We focus on the diagonals. This AC and BD.
Sir,
Yes.
in ये जो ज्योमेट्री के क्वेश्चंस हैं इनमें हम उसको रिलेट कर सकते हैं, alternate angles, vertical
Yes.
opposites and all.
Yes. We
Okay.
can. So here, these are the vertically opposite angles. Because the two lines are intersecting, so this angle would be also 162 minus 3x. Because diagonals are always straight side, and when diagonals intersect, they form vertically opposite angles. And along with this vertically opposite angle, we know that when diagonals intersect, they make up isosceles triangle. So this side and this side, they are equal. Since these two sides are equal, so this angle opposite to the equal side, it will also be 2x. And now we can make the equation as 2x plus 2x plus 162 minus 3x, that is equals to 180. 2x plus 2x, that's a 4x, minus 3x plus 162 is equals to 180. X is equals to 180 minus 162, and x we get as 18 degrees. Now we have to work it out for y. So for y, what we can do is we can first find the value of this angle, this whole angle. This is 162 minus 3x. So 162 minus 3x, when we substitute the value of x, this would become 162 minus 3 into x, which is an 18.
108.
So this means this angle as a whole is 108. So this angle whole as a whole is 108. So we can find this angle. This angle would be 180 minus 108.
72.
So here 72 here. And here again, we know that inside the triangle when diagonals intersect, we have isosceles triangle. This angle, this side and this side, they are same. So eventually this side will also be y for us, because this is y. This will also be a y. So here we can make the equation as y plus 72 is equal to 180. 2y is equal to 180 minus 72. 2y is equals to 180 minus 72, that's a 108. And y is equals to 108 divided by 2, which is
54.
a 54. So both these questions were about the rectangles. So we have made the use of properties related to rectangles. Moving on, we have parallelograms. So for parallelograms, I hope you would be remembering the properties. So let's first solve this part A. Now for part A, the very first property about parallelogram, in case of parallelogram, the opposite angles are equal. Opposite angle equal means y opposite to y, we have this 120. So we can directly get the value of y as 120. Because in parallelogram, the opposite angles are always equal. Second thing, in case of parallelograms, we can always see, we have the parallel sides there. So when we have the parallel side, that means we can apply the properties of the parallel lines. That is, looking for alternate angle letter Z, looking for interior angle letter C, and all. So in case of this figure, we can see a letter Z being formed. Because of letter Z, this is the letter Z for us. So because of letter Z, we'll have this angle as 24, but I don't think so this would be of any use for us here, because we have already got the value of y here. So there's no need for the parallel lines used here. We have already got the value of y, which is 120. So we can directly focus on this triangle, which is ABC. And in case of this triangle ABC, we can make the equation as the three angles sum up to 180, which is x plus y plus 24 is equal to 180. We have got the value of y as 120. So it would be x plus 120 plus 24 is equals to 180. So x would be equals to 180 minus 120 and minus 24.
36.
This gives x as 36. So this was all about part A. Now let's move on for part C. Okay, so in case of part C, the very first thing what we can do is because of the parallel sides, we can see the interior angle, the letter C. For letter C, we know that the interior angle they sum up to 180 degrees. So that means we can make the equation as y plus 139 is equal to 180 degree. Why? Because they are interior angles of these parallel lines. So we get the value of y as 180 minus 139,
Well,
which is 41. Yes,
आपने ग्रेड 10 के टेस्ट पेपर्स चेक कर लिए है?
no,
When will you check?
maybe tomorrow.
Then you will tell me Khizar's result.
Okay,
Thank you.
so y is equal to 41. And then another property what we can see to be applied here is, as I said earlier, in case of the parallelogram, the opposite angles are equal. Opposite angle equal means this A and this C are equal, and this B would be equal to this D as a whole. So you'd make the equation as angle B is equal to angle D as a whole. Angle B, that's a 68 degrees. Angle B, that's a 68 degrees. And angle D, it's a sum of two angles y and x. So we'll now make the equation for x here, and that would be x plus y is equal to 68, and x is equals to 68 minus y, and x is equal to 68 minus 41, which gives us x as 27. Yeah, 27.
Yes.
This was all about parallelograms. So rectangle, then parallelograms. Next shape is the kite. Now for kite, we have discussed the properties that in case of kites,
Sir,
we
आपने
have
पूरे क्वेश्चन skip कर दिया है.
part B.
Yeah.
It was easy, that is why I skipped it. All right, I'll solve it.
No,
Now,
I know how to solve it.
then should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, kite. For kite, we know that we have two different congruent triangles here and two different isosceles triangles here. For part B, in case of kite, when we have a longer diagonal form, always remember there are two diagonals, the shorter one and the longer one. The longer diagonal divides the kite into two congruent triangles. When I say congruent triangles means they are exactly same triangles. It's only the mirror image formed. So if the mirror image formed, that means if part of D is 56 and the remaining part of D, this part, this will also be 56 because it's a mirror image form. It's a congruent triangle. Not congruent triangle, but yeah, it's a line of symmetry here. It's a mirror image form. Congruent won't be the right term. 56 degrees. And then you have this angle. This will also be X because it's a mirror image of angle A. Last, this Y. This will also be same as the other part of the line of symmetry. So this Y will also be 33. So the diagonal, the larger diagonal, it always it's there in the center, and whenever it's in the center, you have same angles on both sides of the diagonal. So solving it further, we have already got the value of Y, which is 33. And for X, now we'll focus on the triangle BCD. So if you focus on the triangle BCD, we can make the equation as Y plus X plus 56 is equal to 180. Y value we have already found as 33. So 33 plus X plus 56 is equal to 180, and X is equal to 180 minus 33 and minus 56.
91.
This was all about part B. Part D. Now, in case of part D, we can see both the diagonals formed, the larger diagonal as well as the smaller diagonal. So for the larger diagonal, we can always consider that this larger diagonal bisects the angle across. So this angle, this will also be 2y minus 3 on the other side of the diagonal. And same goes for this part. This part will also be x minus 5. And then this part, this will also be 63 for us. And like this is 37, so this part will also be 37. So these are all the values. So now we'll focus on one triangle at a time to find the values. So let's first focus on this isosceles triangle. So for this isosceles triangle, the angles involved are, we have one angle is 37 at D, another angle 37 at B, and then at point C, we have two different 2y minus 3. And they all should sum up to 180 degrees. 37 plus 37, that's a 74 plus 4y minus 6 is equal to 180. So 4y, 74 minus 6, that's a 68. So 180 minus 68, and 4y is equals to 112. Y is equals to
28.
28. 112 divided by 4, which is a 28. All right, after this y is found, now we'll focus on the second isosceles triangle found, which is the bigger one. This is also an isosceles. So in this isosceles, we have angle B and angle D same as 63. So 63 plus 63 plus And then we have two parts of angle A, and both the parts are x minus 5. So 2 into x minus 5, and they will all sum up to 180. So 63 plus 63, that's a 126, plus 2x minus 10 is equals to 180. 2x is equals to 180 minus 126 minus 10, that's 116. So 180 minus 116. So 180 minus 116, that's 64. And uh, 64 divided by 2, that would give us x as 32. Is this all clear?
Yes.
Okay, before we move on, I want you to quickly solve these two parts based on Kite. I'm giving you 5 minutes of time to be solved. Solve it and let me know the answers. Okay, I've shared the answers. I hope you have got the answers correct. Apart from these two questions, which were based on Kite in particular, and all the previous questions were about different quadrilaterals, I have added a few more questions. Now, in these questions, it would be a mix of all the previous geometrical properties. Here you can see the parallel lines involved. Here you can see the straight lines involved, different quadrilaterals, different triangles. So that means it would be a mix of all the geometrical properties what we have learned in the last two classes and this class. So you have to be focused on all the properties while solving these questions. And these type of questions are the one what we can expect in the exams. So I want you people to solve these questions also before we move on to the next topic in geometry. So please try solving these also. Okay, since I hope you would have solved these questions by now. So we are ending the class and we'll continue with the geometry in the next class.
Allah Hafiz.